Okido. I don't even know where to start. So this is a video that quite a few people have requested, and I'm happy to make. So we're going to be talking about the storage room today. I'm going to be going over the decisions I made, the actual wiring layout, a little bit of a, not a tutorial because it's just a single slice, but a little bit of a guide as to how to build it, why we did the certain things we did, of course, and then kind of let you guys go off on there. And I will not be doing a block by block tutorial on this as of now. If for some reason enough people request I do a block by block tutorial on this specific storage room and you guys just want to build it the same way we did, I'll think about it. But for now, I'll just be going over the actual design and why we made the certain decisions that we did. So I'm going to pop into this single player world right here and talk about this storage room right here. This means nothing as just wiring. It is just blocks and dust, nice little 4 filters per slice, room for the item streams as you can see. In fact, if I can complete this, room for the item streams just like so. But this holds a special place in our heart, and we'll show you why right now. So I'm on a time crunch today. I will not be taking turning on my resource packs for 1.12. So we're gonna be on vanilla textures for this recording. But right now we're looking at the slime harbor. This has no relation to the storage room. It's just kind of where I spawned in. But as I fly in, you're gonna see the Ruby Center. This was the storage room for last season, season 2 of Minerva. Right now we're on season 3, started August 18th. And this is the storage room that we used for the entire season, and it was amazing. We built this a long time ago, and it has been working for everything we needed ever since, and it is just a fantastic design. And that slice of wiring I just showed you will surprise nobody, is the wiring that we used for it. Now, the wiring is just basic. I mean, it's just one key component as to like how we're actually going to filter the items, how you lay out the items, and even more importantly, how you organize the filters, meaning how you organize the chests is up to you. Where you put each individual item, well, that's going to greatly impact the effectiveness of the storage room. I can talk about it right now in saying that I took the precaution of ordering it so that the most important stuff was always up front. So we had our pistons right up front and center, hoppers right behind it, chests were easy to grab, they're right back here, dust and everything. We use a lot of redstone. If you were a builder, maybe you're going to want to put this stuff right up front, maybe the end blocks, maybe all the different wood types, which you can tell that this is 1.12 because this is not a big enough section for wood nowadays. A lot of changes in 1.13, but it's a special place in my heart because we used this for so many months, and my channel grew with the Ruby Center as our token build. And yeah, so I wanted to reuse this wiring and do a couple of things. So you can see that, and this is bigger than I even remember. I'm not sure exactly why that is. Maybe Optifine is bugging with me, I don't know. But you can see that there's about 4,000, nearly 200 tile entities on my screen. That is chests and hoppers and droppers, and that's actually mostly everything. But, you know, items that contain inventories. And there was a lot of improvements to be made to this wiring, and I'll talk over that now. So first and foremost, we had a lot of members who just couldn't handle the room. Like, it was extremely laggy. In my 3000 FPS video, I used it as a benchmark just because it's so intensive. And I mean, it kind of has to be. Storage rooms are laggy. Like, it's a huge collection of chests, double chests, hoppers, redstone. There's a lot going on. Well, actually, I mean, there shouldn't be a lot going on. Like, there shouldn't be a lot of blinking clocks when nothing's happening. When nothing's happening, nothing's sorting, it's just static. Toppers and chests full of items, redstone. If this isn't moving, it's about as laggy as that block is. Like, it's nothing. So what causes a lot of the lag are all these inventory items. So what I did was I came to this slice right here and I did 2 things. First and foremost, I addressed the fact that in 1.13, water is a lot different. In 1.13, water is perfectly fast right over any type of item. In fact, like over any type of block. So where I've put this wool is indicative of the water streams. Water over top of hoppers is, as far as I've observed in 1.13, as fast or faster than just putting it on packed ice. Or as far as it used to. I've done speed tests, in fact, not on this world, but I've done speed tests where I ran just water streams, you know, going in one direction, and then dispensers facing down and just like rubbing it against those blocks and testing. Blue ice, packed ice, normal blocks, same speed every time. And that is, as far as I've gathered, a lot faster than they used to flow in even 1.12. And that is just fantastic, meaning we can run the items straight over the hoppers. We can just, do little gaps like so, where we just, switch off between hoppers and normal items like so. And then you can just use packed ice to refresh the signal when you need. And that is a huge thing, because before we needed to make routes for packed ice so we could actually, have the items going fast, and the wiring got affected by this. But I was able to not only take out the packed ice, but like just put it right over the hoppers. And what that allowed for me to do was to build the wiring closer. And another thing I wanted to do and achieve is no more than 4 hoppers per slice, leaning more towards 3. So you can see only one of these filters at the very top achieved 3 hoppers, but every other one is limited to 4 hopper. Actually, I guess you use this one right here. I wasn't really thinking about that. So all of these use 4 hoppers, and I was able to crunch it down to 3 single chests instead of the 3 double chests you see over here. And on top of that, we switched it to droppers, which contain 1/3 of the overall inventory space, because it's 3 instead of a single, whatever. It's 9 instead of 27. And droppers over hoppers have always had a weird effect, where because the hopper's searching the dropper, it's not as laggy as it normally would be. I'm not going to get into that because I'll be speaking a little more out of my depth there, but what that means is it's considerably less tile entities. In the grand scheme here, we've got, 4 items per slice, 3 chests per, 1... And like this counts as 2, and then that's 1. So 3 per. So that's basically 12 chests per slice. In the old system, if you include all of these, it was 18. So that was a pretty fat, 33% of the chests are just gone. And then we replaced a few of them with droppers here just to make the whole system work. So in the system, it is a lot nicer. So because I've been talking a lot about theoretical stuff, like I've just been talking about what this will become, I'm going to switch back into survival mode here because it's raining. Let me just ask, can you sleep? Just so we might be able to set it today, and we can have a little bit of nicer scenery here. I have gotten fantastic reviews from this. So this is the end thing. I'll show it in creative in a bit here, but what I was able to do was not only cut down the chest, because that would, cut down on the overall intensity of the system on crap tops, as I call them, because right here, she just slept, Bimblim's online, Jacob's another person on our server. Those are just the 3 off the top of my head, because, Jacob complains about it a lot. Yeah, I'm calling you out. A lot of these guys, not even just them, have, like, really bad computers on the server, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, not everybody can afford a good machine, but it doesn't make their experience in the storage room any easier if we understand their problems. So what I've done is I've tried to make this as lag-friendly as possible, and I am super stoked to report that, as far as I've heard, talking to the members, hanging out with the guys, them letting me know, they have had little to no problems, like, running the storage room as far as the storage room is concerned. And that, of course it's laggy. Like, of course we've got chests here, but it's not as bad as it should be, and it's really, really nice. And I've been getting some very good reviews for that. So not only did we cut down on the tile entities because of lag, but in 1.13, they added, if I'm not mistaken, around, I mean, not everybody puts every item in the room, but like around 80 more filterable items. So I mentioned the wood section earlier. Look how big they are now. Like this thing, we added stripped logs, multi-sided logs. We added pressure plates, the buttons, and then I was opposed to the stripped bark and all that. Like, so many wood blocks were added. Like, that alone was 5 new blocks per wood type. That's 30 new slots in the system alone, and that's just wood. We haven't even gotten into like coral or the or any brewing items or any of that. Like, this whole system is it needed to accommodate a lot more items, which means more filters is going to require, you know, a lot more tile entities and a lot more lag. So I was able to, and this is the final numbers, based on my figures, we had about 3,600. That's why I said I was weirded out by the 4,200 tile entities I was seeing. I only saw about 3,600 when I was testing earlier, but I was able to add 120 filters, going up to 540 from 420. Yes, that number was intentional last season, and reduced it by about 1,000 or 1,500 overall tile entities. So this room is super lag friendly. I've got a very good computer, and I've got 100 FPS looking at the entire thing. At 1.12, I would be down to like 60 if I zoomed out, or less. And then another major thing that we changed, and this is something that I would be happy to do a tutorial on. As for the entire room, we're still going to expand this with 1.14, so this isn't even a finalized system, so I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that. And we haven't even broken in this bulk storage. Like, we built this in theory, we built it up in survival to test it, and as you can see, there are some blank spots, so we haven't really weathered this yet. We haven't filled up a lot of the chests, we haven't farmed a lot of the items that we intend to this season, so we haven't really, like, really seen if that's what we want, and there isn't even a stackable items filter yet. So we still got, if I can just look through here, potions can be filtered out, boats and minecarts can both be filtered out, lava buckets and water, these can both be filtered with their own specialized filter systems, and we haven't done any of that yet, so we're not even quite complete with this system. However, this input system here is extremely nice and very important. So what we do here is input all the items in these double chests. We just drop them in, and this system isn't doing anything. What? Why is that? I'm not actually 100% sure what's the deal here. It looks like there are items in this dispenser, and it's backed up. It's triggered the failsafe. So when the dispenser gets fully loaded, I'll start over. Let me just start from scratch before I confuse you with details. So the items come in through here. This red circuit filters out shulker boxes and normal items. Normal items go into this main system here. The shulker boxes unload into this as well. This is a dropper system. It counts up to a certain amount of items on top of this piston, which is supposed to be sticking up. Let me see if I can just let me see if I can just turn this on real quick so you guys can sort of see how it works. If I'm not mistaken, this piston just needs to be fired. So I'm going to update this. Okay, so it appears as though I must have put a shulker box maybe into the system that shouldn't have. I'm not 100% sure there, but that should have gotten this thing going. So what's happening now is it filters out the shulker boxes, and they go into this shulker box unloader. This is my design. I might link it below. It's a really nice design. It's super compact. It basically takes out the shulker box, unloads it into here, and it's even got water in case this system fatally errors, bugs out, and then TNT gets in here. I've seen it happen. Not in this design, but in past seasons in the Ruby Center, it blew up multiple times, and this water prevention should stop that. So it unloads into the system, all the items stack up on top of this piston, and then get dropped down. That means that if you even stack up 15 items here, you will have almost exactly 15 times less items circulating the system. When we are sorting at full speed and everything's going around, we don't even hit 300 entities. And that's when there are a lot of people online doing like a lot of things all at once. So like right now it's at about 180 entities, and it's building up right now. It just started filtering, so that stone's going to go through the whole system. I'd be shocked if it surpasses 250 entities, which is huge. In the Ruby Center, if we were sorting something that was late in the system because we didn't have this grouping system, it would peak at about 900 entities. No, 600 entities. It would be pretty bad. I was peeking over at OBS and saw 9. My bad. It would be about 600 entities or less. It was a lot though, and this kind of serves to solve that. And so the shulker box, you know, this is a shulker box filter. It goes into here, and then every single item gets grouped up. And this is another lag saving measure. These are observers going in this loop, just like so. And then they're clicking the dropper right here. I showed a minecart unloader in my previous video on the mushroom farm back there. If I can show it right, I think it's here. If I can show it here, it's right over here. This is just a basic minecart unloader using an observer clock. So I recently sort of just started using, that's a nice throw beast. I recently just started using these where observers on a clock like this, all you have to do is unpower it with a torch, and it's a really fast, perfectly fast clock. This is 5 items per second. All you have to do is add an observer facing this direction, one facing this direction, put the rails out here, and it's 2.5 items per second. And it's really slick, and that's what we're using here. So this is perfectly solid state. There's blinking dust. There are no like moving pistons beyond this thing right here, which is, you know, fairly minimal. And that's not even a part of the overall clock. This is a counter, and it works really well. So yeah, this system, even when sorting, people don't even know if it's sorting just because it's so easy on everybody's PC, and I'm really proud of that. And thanks to the new 1.13 changes, the overall loop of this system, which as I figure I don't think it's as long as the Ruby Center because we cut out a wing, although our wings are longer. So it's about 3.5 minutes, whereas the Ruby Center used to be about 6 minutes. So that's not a direct comparison. It had a separate wing for witch farm loot, etc. So it wasn't an exact comparison, but items do seem to move much faster in 1.13. So you can see now the items are making it fairly far. The stone is about to start getting filtered over here. Oh, there it comes, and it'll start getting grabbed out and filtered into the system. 210 entities. Like that is just super easy. Bimblem, I mentioned, has a really bad computer. He struggles quite a bit. Perfectly fine. He's just over there chilling, you know. He's not having any problem. Era running around just fine. Super playable, and it's really nice. So yeah, this system is great. And the problem that I was the yellow circuit. The problem that I was seeing is there are 3 different triggers to this yellow circuit. The yellow circuit is a failsafe. Whenever this line gets turned on, it locks the hopper and stops the items from coming through the system. That has 2 reasons. 1, lag. This Shulker box filter made by LaFlossy, insanely good design. It's really, really nice. It does have blinking dust right here. 1 here and there, which is pretty bad. I mean, it's not an insane deal. I'm not going to pretend like that 1 blinking dust is going to hammer your PC, but like little things add up. The blinking dust, the items going around, the chests in the room. If somebody out somewhere is raising the mob cap and there are more entities around. If the mushroom farm over here is running a little bit, like if we can just remove that 1 blinking clock, it goes a long way, you guys. Those mushrooms are stuck, by the way. I know how to fix that. I'm just not going to do it right now. I do have permanent solutions for that. Don't worry about it. So that yellow line turns on in 3 situations. 1, it detects that the items have backed up to this hopper. What that means is enough shulker boxes have entered the dispenser to where they start backing up to the system. If they make it past this hopper, they get into this dropper. This dropper needs to always be empty or it can't filter us appropriately, and that's when you'll be getting normal items into the system, like TNT, and that's where we were having problems last season. The other one is it detects when this dispenser dropper is full of like 6 or 7 stacks of items. I'm not really sure what this adds up to. Whatever a full furnace is. It's not an exact science. When that's detected that it's mostly full, that means that it has 2 inputs. This hopper has a ton of items coming in, and the shulker box unloader is happening. So this will start filling in faster than it can unload, and that's a problem. If that starts backing up to this, if this gets full, items start getting in the dropper, and you're gonna have a bad time. And then it starts bugging out. So both of those circuits turn the system off. And one more is when the shulker box is unloading. So not only is it detecting when there are shulker boxes in there, but anytime the shulker box unloader is unloading, it takes priority and shuts down the system. This hopper being locked doesn't actually stop the clock. That hopper is only being locked because the system's firing from the shulker box. I have watched a shulker box empty out, turn off the system, and items will flow through here seamlessly. You will lose maybe 2 dropper clicks at most of sorting time, and it's almost instant. So the system runs fairly smooth. I automated a lot of this. This huge chunk of wiring looks like a lot for just putting items and spitting it back out, but there's a lot of processing that needs to occur in order for this system to run perfectly fine. I want my members to have the best experience, and if they can just chuck an inventory full of literally anything, then the shulker boxes will get filled out, the shulker boxes will get filtered out and unloaded, the normal items will go through the system, and then stuff like arrows of slowness or whatever, they'll just make it to the overflow and we can deal with it later. And it all runs perfectly smooth. Like, we might have another shulker box filter at the end, and we'll just, you know, maybe put that into bulk here and just let that be used. So yeah, the whole system runs really, really well. And we were able to use these 1.13 water columns. This is not necessary, by the way. Absolutely not. There's even an extremely low chance in certain circumstances that items can get stuck on the edge. Not the way we have it laid out. I have taken great measures to completely avoid that. But if somebody throws items in or whatever, it can happen. But like I said, not on my watch. I've been watching the storage room and testing it for a very long time. I have seen it surpass 100%. You know, it is a 100%, like, no items will ever get stuck in this configuration. So, let me talk about layout. So that's a huge amount of information about the actual storage room and everything we took to talk about it. The actual layout and wiring. So I mentioned that slice. Hopefully I showed it well enough earlier. Although this is the wrong world, this is just a creative version. Hopefully I showed it well enough earlier, but this is all the wiring you need. There's nothing fancy here, just, you know, one slice like so. It does need to have a block in between. These are not one wide tileable. That's how it needs to go in. And that'll make sure that there aren't any crossed wires here. But I wanted to show that wiring just so you guys can replicate it. As for the actual input system here, I could do a whole video covering this. I'll link below TDL's video on this. This is technically my design, but he made a video about it, so you can check it out there. It's basically just a modified etho hopper clock. We designed this one night from scratch, just a counting system. Whenever this counts to 8, it just kind of sends it out so it groups the items. We designed it one night, trying to compact the design, trying to work around it, and then we came up with this, and we were super happy with it, and then we realized it was a modified etho hopper clock. Like, if you add a hopper here and put the items in that hopper, it's just a clock. The dropper, it's really nice. It shoots out, and then it unloads. It's pretty clean. But, yeah, that was the wiring, and it all needs to be spaced a block, so as you can see, it's used just like this, where the items will be in the chest, and it'll just indicate it to the left. And then I built this in uniform, so the items will be on the right over here. So if you wanted to build this yourself, you're going to need a little bit of know-how. You're going to need to use that slice. I might provide world downloads. I'm going to sound kind of mean if I say I don't think it'll help all that much. I'm trying to think of when we actually built this storage room, because I do have world downloads of our room here, and I won't have time to make one today, but I think this is in a world download. If we built it after Halloween, then it's not. I can't believe I can't remember. Anyway, I don't think it is, but I will someday. If you guys want a world download of this, I'll be updating it as soon as I can. I'll try to update this as soon as possible after making this video, but that slice is all you need. You guys don't need to build it the way we did. Once you have that slice and that wiring, you can basically build it as much as you want. These are 23 items long, and then it's two-sided, and then I made I made 3 wings of 180 item, or 100, what's 540 divided by, yeah, 180 items each. And I organized it like this. The middle wing is your redstone and miscellaneous. So we've got all of our redstone right up front and center. We've got our building blocks on the side, all of our ores in the middle, and then we've got all of our miscellaneous items back here, plus a little bits of different types of grass and dirt. Yes, I dedicated an entire wing to the colored stuff because it takes so much space. Your wools, your dyes, your carpets, your glasses, your concrete powder, concrete terracotta, hardened clay, hashtag never change the name, hashtag we've got all this different stuff back here. We've got all the different kinds of fish because we're crazy. We have dolphins spawning in this pond. They're not here right now. Oh, that whole wing is just colors. That's all it is. And then over here is agriculture. All of the different woods, and then all of the different flowers and plants, all of the different leaves are by the woods, all of our different food types. This one's empty because we don't have that item yet, or rabbit's foot, I guess, just isn't labeled. And then this is supposed to be dragon's breath. Nobody's collected it yet. And then I missed chicken because I'm an idiot. So yeah, this needs to be extended anyway with 1.14. They will be adding, if I'm not mistaken, another 80 blocks or something like that. I think currently it's reported at like 50 or 60 items. They're going to be adding a ton of stairs and slabs and flowers, and we don't have the space right now. So I will be expanding our hallways out in pretty much each direction just to accommodate for all that space. And let me check it. Yeah. Not even 200 entities, and it's still sorting. Lovely. So I think, I mean, other than that, this is just basic bulk. I'll show a picture of it just so you guys can see that. This is just a normal shulker box loader. I do have videos on 2x shulker box loaders. I'll try to link those below. And then just a basic filter. We did have to align the items against the cake, just like so. Classic, two things happened here. Somebody on stream wanted me to use cake in a redstone build. I'm like, you know what? I have to align items anyway, and this is cheaper than an ender chest. Why not? So I did it just like that, and I needed to do that because, as you can see up here, as I was talking about earlier, we do use packed ice to break up the items so that they can go along, and they scoot along just fine, and it goes through nice and neat. And down here is just basic bulk, so it's just a nice little item filter. They all go to 41. Let me find one that's filtered. Yeah, they all go to 41 items here. That's the coup farm down there. And then it's just a basic shulker box loader. We didn't need 2x2 storage. That was way too fast for what we needed. And it's just basic, you know, loads into the chest. And then the shulker boxes get dropped down here. I don't know if any of this has been loaded enough to need shulker boxes. These are just farms we plan to build. Surely there will be plenty of stone. Yeah, we moved all that in, mostly by hand at this point. And then a lot of dirt got filtered in, and then, you know, andesite, and is that, yeah, it has a chance to go off to the side. It's not a big one, but it does happen. And that's just the basic overview / complicated in depth. I organized the items very well. I think I tried to accommodate for every single item, every single need, have the important stuff up front. I got a lot of good reviews in the Ruby Center last season. People liked the layout, and I try to put related stuff together, so you know, it's all in one spot. And now we've got a mushroom farm. Just kind of, you know, I'm gonna go down there and fix that because I said I would. Right now, the only way that I know of to like actually fix this is not. Oh, I have crap in my inventory. There we go. This is not ideal, but I've been coming in here and I've just been doing this. Wherever they get stuck, where I'll just like place them like that so that they get shooken up. And then once he's done dying, the next one will come in. There you go. Mushroom dies. Drops all of his steak. Drops all of his steak. Minecart comes through, picks it up, and we get fed for free. And I don't think anything's going to spawn because these two are kind of running around. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this rundown. I will do a more in-depth video on... I think I'll do this one on my own. I'll do a step-by-step tutorial on how to build this. As for a tutorial for the storage room, like I said, maybe after we've fully completed it in 1.14 will I do that. But I will hope, for your guys' and my sake, that this was enough information for you guys to be able to at least be comfortable building this or something like this on your own. Of course, the water streams, you kind of have to kind of figure it out. You can kind of watch this and see how we did it. The items just go off to the side very easily here. They drop down using panes. And then you do need to raise it up and then get a nice big lead in just so the items never get stuck on the corners of those stairs. I was very sure to do that. And then that whole system cycles. So they come up here, they go up through the middle, and then they flow along. If you were to start building this in survival, I mean, you'd hopefully be able to save from these ideas, and then it's this exact same thing repeated on each side. This underling right here is really just the extension of the bulk. It looks a lot more complicated than it is, you guys. We've really just got, here, I'll lay it out like this. We've got the items coming through down here, going back up this loop, cycling through the system, going around down here up through this loop, all through the system, goes up through this loop, all like we really did just water cool our storage room. I titled a stream that way. Goes through all through here, comes back through, goes up through here, and then it just goes right through there. It's it. It looks like a complicated series of tubes, but it's really just one loop. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully this enlightened a lot of you guys. I talk about this a lot on stream, but I know that, you know, organized videos are a little bit easier for people. I'm happy to talk about the storage room. I'm really proud of it. I think this is quite a feat. I mean, I'm very like the fact that it's lag friendly, as like more so than I thought. Like I thought I was helping a lot. I didn't realize it'd be so playable. Like this is like, when I would turn around in the Ruby Center, I would get stutters, and it would actually, like, mess me up a little bit. But now it's, like, perfectly fine, and we can just throw in all of our items. I might need some of this. I'm just going to throw in the junk that I don't think I need hardened clay. I think I'm done. Like, yeah. And then I can fill in my box here. Where are my comparators? I think I used them all. They're in here. All right, I'll unload that junk in another day. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and I should be on vacation right now, so I'll see you guys soon.